Welcome to another episode of 6 Cents Out of a Nickel. My original plan was to be cycling today, but considering it is a beautiful spring day in southwestern Ontario, we'll have to move this indoors. Well, that's a lot better now that we're indoors. First of all, I'd like to thank my friend Nathan Howell for creating the intro that you just saw. He did it in no time flat. Thank you very much, and thank you for introducing me to video editing. I remember back in the day it was a much longer and more drawn out process, and I really didn't want to expend a lot of energy into it. But it's a lot easier and quicker now than it ever was. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. What I want to talk to you is about values. Now, values are different for everyone, and I just wanted to make this short and gauge what values are important for everyone at this point. How can I help you the best? So I'm here to serve you. I'm not here to make a whole bunch of money on YouTube. I know that's the impression that people get sometimes when you start a YouTube channel. People think you want to make it big and become a YouTube star, maybe quit your job. No, I'm not looking to get that deep into it. I'm just looking to disseminate some information, maybe help a few people out. And if it gets to the point where it can be monetized, I'm certainly not going to turn it down. But I don't expect a whole lot of money out of it. I mean, maybe enough for a bag of milk, a loaf of bread, and a package of bologna, so I can have lunch every now and again on YouTube's dime. But anyway, values are definitely different for everyone, and it varies through the generations as well. I am privileged enough to have been raised by parents of two different generations. My dad was born in 1929, so he was part of the greatest generation, as it's so called. And my mother was born in 44. Hope we got that right. It's either 44 or 45. I seem to have drawn a blank on that. Anyhow, so she would be part of the baby boomers. And they have very, very different value sets. The older generations were more concerned with survival, so they would start in the spring to prepare for the winter because winter was a time of scarcity where there wasn't a whole lot of resources, and you had to prepare for that early. Baby boomers had it relatively a lot easier, so their values were very different. They could afford to focus on luxuries and some higher end things in life. And then there's my generation, the forgotten generation, Generation X. It seems you hear a lot about the millennials and the boomers back and forth against each other, and they forget there's an entire generation of us right in the middle that no one seems to remember. But we didn't have it as good as the baby boomers. We had to work twice as hard for half as much, and the gaps were filled with debt. People went into a substantial amount of debt to try and maintain the types of standards of living that they were used to living at home with their baby boomer parents. And then there's the millennials, the children of my generation. Unfortunately, they've inherited a mess to the point where even paying rent and getting their own place is a pipe dream for them. Owning a house is totally unrealistic at this point for them. I'm not sure how we're going to end up fixing that, but we do have to find some solutions to that. Now, each generation has their strengths as well. My dad's generation was probably the most resourceful because they really had to be. They had nothing to work with. As far as lifestyle is concerned, some of the best things that have taken place in the field of lifestyle and life improvement have been because of the boomers. Generation X has kind of just plugged along and tried to maintain things. And the millennials, they have a skill as well. They seem to be the best with technology and social media and motivating people for certain causes. Depending on where you're coming from, of course, not everybody from each generation has those particular skills, but I'm generalizing, of course. everybody's going to have a set of skills that they're really good at, and others that they need to work on. So what I need to know from you is, what would you like me to cover? What sorts of skills would you like to learn from whatever experience I have? And hopefully each topic can become a conversation starter that begins the conversation in the comments, and we can all build a community to help each other out. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe, please. It really does help to get the word out. And thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.